Well, Upesy, it is. We all have gotten to that point where we have an emergency. Maybe it's in the middle of the night. You do not know where to start from, whom to call. You probably do not have a car, and you genuinely need help ASAP. So yes, we're talking about a situation where you're going to have help coming your way pretty much fast at the comfort of where it is that you are. Just having this gadget right here, you'd be able to get that. And joining me for this conversation, it's all about tech and innovation. It's pretty much that we always come to celebrate some of the innovation plans that crop up from the youthful characters that we have on board. We always say that, we're moving from that bit where we're going to completely shun matters analog to matters digital. We're moving from that point where we're going to say, forget about asking for employment every other day, create employment. And that's exactly what Tech and Innovation segment is all about. So this morning, Eric Mureithi and Vincent Awino will be joining me. They are the crafters or the innovators behind the Upesy application, as you have seen right there. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Been well?
Good.
All right, so tell us more about Upesy now that we see this, and it's pretty much something that one would want to have as an application on their very own phone because it's convenient and, would give you that aspect of getting help ASAP in the event that you need it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Linda. I will do a bit of introduction, and then my colleague will talk a bit of how it works and the other details of the application.
Okay.
Just as an introduction, Upesy is a product that was conceived about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
After some robbery experiences. If you live in Nairobi, this is a reality. And personally, I had some robbery experience, and at that time, I had no way of making a report to the police or to any of my loved ones about what had happened. So I thought about a way of finding help using the most convenient thing that people have, which at that time the prevalence of using mobile phones was very high. So that's how we conceived of coming up with a way of using the mobile phone to raise an alert to people that your loved ones or the police or even other providers. So we started working on it, came up a team of 3 people, myself, Vincent, and a lady called Candy. We've been working on it, and right now we've achieved quite a number of things. The product is in the market. We have about 6,000 users right now. We have many partnerships with the service providers. We have done a pilot with the National Police Service and are currently having a conversation on the platform being adopted at the IC3. So just briefly, at Upesy, our vision is to create a safer world for everyone. We want to give everyone a way of finding help in case of an emergency by giving them a platform on their phone with all the emergencies together.
5 years down, allow me to ask this question. 5 years down, what has been achieved so far? Are there successful stories where one can say that, courtesy of, Upesy, is able to get help?
Yes, we have quite a number of successful stories. I said we had a pilot with the National Police Service, and what we were doing, we gave it to the public. Actually, that time we had over 2,500 incidents reported. Most of them were about domestic violence. Others were about accidents, and all those people were able to get help conveniently because of the platform.
All right, yeah. So you were explaining, maybe it's important that we loop in Vincent. Vincent, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you speak of, or better yet, Eric speaks of, this is a way of looping that person who's probably undergoing something and would want help to the service providers that are in existence. So how many service providers have you partnered with so far? Because there's that mention of the National Police. And how is the government accepting this?
All right, so as my colleague just mentioned, the goal is to have all the best emergency services and partners on a single platform. So when people think of emergency, they should think of Upesy, where we have all these partners and providers on board. Now, we brought in providers for security, for medical, road rescue, and fire. So all the four emergency services. So we are currently, for security, we are currently working with the likes of G4S, Securex, 911 Group, Cortec. These are the very best in security response services. For medical ambulance, we're working with AAR Healthcare. We are working with St. John Ambulance. We are bringing in AMRE Flying Doctors, and others are coming on board, similar to road rescue and fire. So it's just to bring them on a single platform and all the best services where people can access it.
All right.
Maybe just
yeah, come in. It's okay.
Yeah, just to give a brief, maybe just to touch a bit on how the product works very briefly. So it's a mobile application. It's available on both Android and iPhones. So the way it works is that you're able to raise an alert. And you're able to raise an alert in one of two ways. So the first way is assumes you don't have time to get into the app, in which case you click the power button to your phone a minimum 4 times, and that should trigger an alert. The second way assumes that you have time to get into the app, and in that case, then you click on any of the available emergency buttons on the app. The third way, which we're introducing, is that people will be able to speak to their phones, because most of the time the phones are in the bag, in the pocket, etc. So when you speak out a code word that you pre-record on the application, say your code word is saying "woi," 2 times, that should be picked by the phone, and that should trigger an alert. The fourth way, which we'll introduce in the course of next year, is that the app should be able to trigger for you an alert without you doing anything.
Yeah.
So what you do is we'll have some wearables similar to the watches that we have nowadays that monitor your vitals, monitor your pressure, your heartbeat, your temperature, etc. Such that when you're in a state of shock, then that should trigger an alert through Upesy and get you help and response.
Just how quick can it get to the right security agencies? Because if you have a couple of them and you're handling different issues, there are times where we've known that when you call this number, it's about fire. When you call this number, it's about, an emergency, you probably need medical services and all that. In this case, you have different categories. Just how quick? Because, in most cases, it's about danger. It's about, you literally need these things going up pretty fast. And maybe that's why you're looking up to even better the innovation. But the question then would be, as at now, how quick does it get you to the right service or this right service provider that you'd want?
It's instantly. So the moment you click on the button, it instantly goes to the control rooms. Now, the assumption is if you open the application and you go to if you open your phone, you put in your password to your phone, you search for where the app is, and you open the app and you click on the buttons there. The assumption is that you have time to do that, meaning you'll get a call back from control to find out more about the incident, and then they'll get you help. Now, but if you go for the power button at least 4 times, the assumption is that you don't even have time to search for where Upesy is, meaning it's dire emergency and someone might be in duress. So when you go for the power button, instantly the response is initiated and a dispatch is done to where you are. And it could be anything. So the security providers will be dispatched similar to the ambulance, because it could be that you're having a heart attack, or it could be that you're being robbed. So we are not taking chances when somebody does the power button triggers.
All right.
Maybe just also a very brief on what happens when you trigger the alert.
Yes.
Like my colleague just explained earlier. Now, the alert is sent to 3 categories of people. Number 1, we are sending it to your safety net. We are calling them guardians. Right. Guardians are friends or relatives or neighbors, etc., who are notified in the event of an emergency. The second category of people is the police. So like my colleague had explained, we did a 6-month pilot with the National Police at the command center on Jogo House, and incidences are able to get to them there and able to act accordingly. The third way, we are sending it to the security and private emergency providers for personalized response for those who want such response. Now, 4 things happen when you trigger an emergency alert. So 1, we send a text message whether or not you have credit. The phone will automatically try to call either the police your service provider, or one of your friends. Number 3, we'll start tracking you in real time. We'll know the location of every movement that you make from there on.
All right.
And then 4, lastly, we record audio of everything that is happening where you are. In case we are not able to reach you on phone, at least we're able to hear everything at the point of incident where you are.
All right. Well, and coming back to you, Eric, generally on data protection and accessibility, I know he's taken us through all that, but just how do you get to have this, and how much of confidence would you have in the event that you have this? And I mean, the payments and the charges and all that, how do you make money out of this?
Great. So how you have it, like my colleague has said, we are on Android and App Store. You just pick your phone, you search for Upesy with a Y at the end, and you download the application. Then you can start using it for free. For free means you can add your relatives, your friends, or even a neighbor who is able to receive the alert in case you are in an emergency and is able to find you help. So that is for free. When we bring the police on board, even contacting the police will be free. Then if you want to get an assurance that there will be response from the premium service providers like G4S and AAR and all the other partners that we have on board, you need to pay a little amount of money, which is quite affordable to most people. For security, it's between 1,300 and 1,500 per month. For ambulance, it's 3,000 shillings per annum. So we are encouraging people to sign up, especially for ambulance at this time of COVID. You don't know what might happen at night, and maybe you have no means of transport, or it's curfew hours. Something can happen. 3,000 shillings for the whole year, you have assured response, and you can also cover your family for the same.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. Indeed, the innovations out here are very many. It's important that you get yourself out there and get to understand. I mean, life becomes pretty much easy because you can have technically almost everything that you want, and you're able to access them. That is a courtesy of technology. And the gentleman right there, and of course one of them who's in absentia, and that is the lady. She said she's Wangari, are doing a good job. Yeah, doing a good job towards that. Thank you so much. This was all about tech and innovation, and that is the innovation that we've brought for you today. You can always take your time to go out there and see what it is that the gentlemen have spoken about it for yourself. It's important, it is helpful, and we're always here to ensure that what is helpful for you, we ensure that you are enlightened, or you get to have an idea that such is in existence. That's all we had for you this morning. Eric Muredi and Vincent Awino, thank you so much for that. And we get to wind up Morning Cafe at this point, as we look forward to see you again later in the day. And that is when we'll be taking a look at the news stories. My name is Linda Alela, and the program is Morning Cafe. Do have yourself a lovely, lovely day ahead.